Hi there. In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. This is the first time I've been able to actually open my mouth properly and speak for about 10 days now. I have had the most horrendous tooth infection and I've been on painkillers, which have done nothing. And I've just been having the worst time ever. But I've managed to get the antibiotics to kick in. I've got my tooth coming out on Sunday. So yay, I'm so happy about that. And I'm feeling a little bit more normal today, which is great. I'm dog sitting, so I'm not at home. So this bit of the recording, the introduction might sound a little bit weird because the surroundings are different where I'm recording it. But yeah, I'm feeling good. And I'm in a little cottage in the countryside, looking after my mum and dad's dog, and just relaxing and watching nature and reconnecting with myself and allowing myself time to recover from 10 days of intense pain. I've done absolutely nothing, haven't even opened the laptop once, which, if you're not feeling well, you're not going to do. And I was beating myself up a little bit about that, thinking, oh my God, Tara, come on, you got to get on this. Then I got to the point, I was just like, the world is not going to fall apart if I take 10 days off. So I did, and I'm feeling so much better for it now. So this is my introduction to an interview that I recorded a couple of weeks ago with Daniel Mangena. And Daniel is a fellow UK man. He's actually from London originally, but now he lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And he has just recorded, ready to be released, hopefully sometime in June, a new Amazon documentary called Manifestnation, all one word. And he's also the powerhouse behind a company called Dream with Dan. It was such a fun interview talking to Daniel. He was telling me how he had this psychedelic, so this is what he calls it, a psychedelic 3D virtual reality metaverse experience. And he had this during a walking meditation. And this experience caused him to see what his future life would look like if he stepped into the coaching role. So like I had my hug from the universe, and that gave me the security to know that I was loved and supported 100%. And this was very similar to that. This was the universe telling him, look, Dan, you've got to get on with this and step into the role that you are destined for. And since then, he's worked with clients all over the world. He has been quoted by Oprah, which is absolutely amazing. And he's been featured in all sorts of different publications and news channels. He's been in the Wall Street Journal. He's been on ABC, NBC, CBS. He's been in Forbes. He's been on TEDx, Fox, and so many other platforms too. So my interview with Dan is talking tacos, sunshine, and manifestnation, and his Dream with Dan method for micro-shifting and helping people to step into consistent action to manifest the life of their dreams. So excuse my voice in this intro. It's not been used very much recently, and it sort of caused me a bit of a sore throat as well. Huge apologies. I'm not feeling as bubbly yet as I normally am, but I'm here, I'm back on it, and I'm so happy to be pain-free and actually smiling, laughing and dancing again. So I hope you enjoy the interview, and huge apologies for the delay in releasing this. Sending you lots of love. Hi, Daniel, and welcome to Happy, Inspired, Motivated. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling happy, inspired, and motivated. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
That sounds awesome. Well, then you're in the perfect place, really, aren't you?
Oh my God, look at the synchronicity.
Oh my goodness. So I'm so glad you joined me today. I know we had this interview booked for like months ago, and then it all went a bit pear-shaped, but we got it back in again. So we're actually talking. We did.
Yeah.
We managed to get it synchronized again. So it's fine. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your backstory, really, your journey and how it got you to where you are today.
Awesome. So I live in Mexico. Left the UK just under 4 years ago. Um,
Why? The UK is amazing.
it is amazing. It's lovely, great. However, tacos and sunshine are better. Just saying. So
No, okay, yeah, I can do it.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can buy that. Yeah.
yeah. So I packed up a business that I built up in consulting and project management and project funding because I had a calling, as cheesy as it sounds. And the
Hmm.
funny thing is that I'd had the calling for a while. I've been getting nudges. I've been getting uh, inspiration to do stuff, and I kept trying to negotiate with my destiny.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't work that, does it?
I'm gonna. Can I just take care of this? Can I just do that? Because I not throwing shade at anyone, but I didn't need to be validated by people. I didn't need like a tribe. I didn't
Hmm.
have like this empty hole. I'd come through a really long journey where I'd gone through all of those things, and I got to a really, really good place.
Yeah.
For those who know London, I had a lovely home in Highgate. My office was in Mayfair. I was doing really good numbers. I had healthy relationship with my family. I was working out in good shape. I was doing there
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like this gap that
Yeah.
I needed to fill, but this thing kept knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking, and I kept batting it back. And then the 13th of February 2018, I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in the US, on a meditation retreat. And the crazy thing is that the retreat had been kind of crap for me. Like,
Oh,
I,
okay.
I hadn't really got much out of it. I was a bit like, oh, it's a bit like, ooh. But the last day, so the morning after the last day, I said, I'm just going to go out and do a walking meditation before I go home back to the UK. So I get out and I'm going to do this walking meditation. And during this walking meditation, I have this psychedelic three-dimensional virtual reality physical metaverse experience where I
Wow.
ended up future paced to exactly what my life would be like if I answered the call that I'd been getting all of this time. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
this is what the thing is. Like, I had this full on download or whatever you want to call it.
that's
So that
cool.
day, on the way home, I shut down my website. I refunded money that I had to refund for work that wasn't going to be finished and whatever the thing was. Made the arrangements to pack up my house. I was in the middle of buying the places where I was living. Pulled out of that, packed up everything. I took a suitcase, a backpack, and a suit carry out. Left the rest in my brother's garage, and went off around the world teaching the work that had been coming to me. Because I got into personal development really young, and
Yeah.
I'd been through some experiences which we'll probably get to that brought me to a point where I had this body of work to share,
Mm.
and I decided to just go and do it. And that landed me here, being based out of here in Mexico, and continue to do that now virtually around the
Yeah.
world.
That's crazy.
Hmm.
So you didn't think at any point, "Mm, have I been eating something that made me have this hallucination?"
Oh
And
no, no, no. I mean, I don't do any kind of drugs. I
no,
don't
but I
really
mean,
drink that
in the
much.
kind of meditation state and
Yeah,
everything like that,
yeah.
there's something. Why did you think that it was such a strong hunch you had to do it? That's a lot to do in from one walk.
Well, the thing is that the call had been coming for about a year and a half. Right, for about a year and a half,
Yeah.
the call had been coming. So this was February, October of the year before, so a few months before. I basically had the last sort of proper negotiation with my destiny. It was like, okay, I say yes, but I'm just going to put these things in order first before I
Yeah.
sort of say the yes. And okay, I'm just going to sort of wrap this up in a tiny bow, and I'll get to you. I'll get to you next. You're next on the list. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! What am I waiting for? I need to do this now. Like, I need
Yeah.
this now. Um, yeah, and here I am actually living that life, and it's pretty awesome.
So that led you to basically your website is Dream with Dan, isn't it? So
Yeah.
did that come through at the same time, or has that been an accumulation of the years you've been traveling and the work that you've come across?
So the whole dream with your eyes open concept, I don't remember when that first came out of my mouth.
Okay.
But since then, it's like, okay, that's it. And so then I kind of, when it came to the branding aspect, my
Mhm.
Dream with Dan was available as a domain. I can't believe that was available. So I took that. And then Dreamer CEO on that's my handle on social media.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, the whole concept of dreaming your eyes open, the deeper levels of meaning behind it keep unfolding and revealing themselves as I started doing more deeper work with lucid dreaming, for example, and mirroring those concepts over. And it's evolved and it continues to evolve. But it came out of my mouth once and just, oh, that's it. That's the thing.
I guess that's what you did, though, isn't it? If you were doing a walking meditation, you were dreaming with your eyes open.
Which is one of the levels that we approach with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a big part of what some people call me an abundance activator, and helping people get more money is what they generally come to me for.
Okay.
But when they get through the door, they realize it's actually not about the money. It's about being a conscious creator of your experience. And the deeper that we go into work together, the closer we work together, what it comes down to is treating your life as if it was a lucid dream. For those who aren't familiar with the concept of lucid dreaming, in the dream state, you're able to take control of the dream, and you can have this really cool experience where you can do whatever you want because it's not quote unquote real.
Yeah.
But you get to experience it viscerally with your senses. What we do is we take the principles of lucid dreaming and we mirror them into our everyday life so that our life becomes a walking, waked, living lucid dream. Because the same concepts do exist. It's just the level of belief that we have around it. And the deeper we step into deeper levels of belief about what we can execute, what we can do, the more power that we have to create what we want to experience in our life. And that's the deeper level of it. But much to your point, experiences like having walking meditations or viscerally experiencing something cool, those are part of it. But I really want people to move away from just the three-dimensional vision to the physical reality. And that's what I love to support people doing.
So explain how you can transfer the lucid dreaming techniques into physical waking activity.
Okay, well, let's look at just a couple of the lucid. Different lucid dreaming teachers, different lucid dreaming principles will have different things, but there are some common threads.
Yeah.
One of the common threads is waking up within the dream.
Okay.
Right? So people give you different techniques to be able to wake up in the dream. So looking at your hand, and then you'll look at your hand in a dream, and then you'll see that your hand has got 6 fingers, then you know you're in a dream. And that actually triggers lucidity. Some people have like code words, and they'll give themselves a trigger that they carry around during the day. So when they see it in the dream, it's like, oh, it's a dream. Or putting your finger through your hand, right? Something that you wouldn't be able to do. But the purpose of all of these actions is to activate your awareness that you're in a space where you can actually change. It's the same in our life. Coming to a conscious awareness of our power in our life gives us the ability to start doing more. But it does begin with us actually becoming consciously aware, becoming awake. So many of us are operating just on our unconscious all the time. Our entire life is just this waking thing of playing out a program. I don't mean that as a hyperbole. It's literally the neuroscience on it, that we just keep playing out the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
When we disrupt that, we step into deeper possibilities. Now, not everybody flies in their dream straight away. Some people might just do something rather normal in a lucid dream, but they've done it consciously within a dream state. Much the same when we're creating outcomes in our life. We don't necessarily go and manifest unlimited wealth or the sexy other half or perfect health immediately, but we do start to display a level of agency in what we're doing. It's exactly the same with the dream too. So the two mirror in many, many ways.
Yeah.
But what it really comes down to is being consciously in agency in what we're experiencing in our life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love that you're talking about how we just go through the motions basically on a day-to-day basis, and it's just autopilot the whole time, isn't it? You don't think about doing anything different, so you don't get anything different. And you do need to put a break in that circuit to make a change if you want a change in your life. And a lot of people do, they just don't think that they're capable of it because it's just they haven't seen it or experienced it. Or know anybody else that has. So it's,
Exactly.
it just seems that the norm is exactly how we're supposed to be living. And there's so much more to experience that they're just not aware of. And it's such an important message to get out there, isn't it?
And it's exactly the same with the dream. For someone who hasn't become aware of the idea of lucid dreaming, they just think, oh, this is what we do. We go to sleep, we have a dream, maybe we remember a few things in the morning, and that's it. I go to school, I go to uni, I get a job, I retire, I get my pension, and I die. Maybe go to Margate a couple of times.
Woohoo!
That's what we do.
Exciting times.
It's exactly the same thing. Again, the mirror principle comes in. We think this is how it has to be, but actually there is more. And as we step into that more and experience more, then more opens up for us as possibilities because our belief system makes it available.
Yeah.
And much to your point, we don't see anyone. Again, the same thing. Who are we around? What are we reading? What conversations are we having? What are we listening to? What podcasts are we hearing?
Yeah.
Are we just watching the news and reading the newspaper and all the doom and gloom? Or then, of course, your possibilities are going to be limited. It's about expanding our possibilities by expanding our environment, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you're not aware of there being a different kind of reality, you wouldn't even know where to begin to start to find things to read, or
No.
Because before I got involved in law of attraction, all these kind of things, I had no idea about any of it. And it comes to you at the right time. It comes across your path and it gives you the nudges to look at it. But until that happens, you're totally oblivious to it even being a thing.
Yeah.
You're not taught about it in school or anywhere.
Yeah, we're not talking about it. So again, so it all comes down to the environment, the conversations that you're having, the people that you're around. I mean, I don't remember how I ended up with this, but I read Think and Grow Rich when I was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
I was like ordering tapes from Nightingale Conant, but then I always had this entrepreneurial bug, and I was always a bit of a weirdo. So my journey into the esoteric side of things kind of came from just people that I was around and hearing the calling and then following that nudge, and that's led to me having a 2-decade long experience of this kind of information. Not everybody has that, but the really cool thing is we're in an information age where so much is available, and there are so many opportunities to connect to new communities and to learn from people. You don't even have to pay anyone. Like you said, you're sort of creeping on my YouTube. Thank you. Right?
Yeah, I'm Dan Steve's stalker. Shh.
Stalker. Yeah, like there's so much available. So we really don't have an excuse for things to remain the same in our life because there is so much opportunity for us to do something different.
Yeah. And listening to podcasts like mine and all the others out there that talk about this kind of stuff is just, it's there's so much to learn and so much access to it. So, I mean, I know you work a lot, like you said, with clients, getting them into more abundant state and allowing them to be open to receiving more financial rewards in their business. How do they, so if they come to you with that in mind, how open are they to the methodologies that you use?
So a couple of my mates that are really a lot further down the rabbit hole publicly. I mean, I live down the rabbit hole, right? I live down the rabbit hole. But I'm a lot more tempered in my communication of what I'm into, because one of my teachers, Montu, always said, give what they want, so they want what you have to give. Right. And so I'm out there sprinkling consciousness and weirdo woo-woo stuff out in the mainstream all the time. Like I go on TV and do TV interviews, and I'm planting the seeds of consciousness and planting the seeds of this information. But the framing that I do it in is one that can't be denied from a logical stance either. And so I don't immediately say, okay, let's meditate and transcend another dimension. That's not what we do. It's let's see where you're at. Let's refer to energy in terms of emotional state and then dive deeper. Let's look at consciousness in terms of the unconscious and subconscious mind. Let's look at the way that we hold our frequency in terms of habits and behaviors, and then actually spoon feed it. And so I don't really get that much resistance, because I meet someone where they're at and then hold their hand and take them all the way down the rabbit hole. In a way. And also, I mean, for example, when I look at the people that come from so there are two sides that I work with, right? There are people that have got healthy relationships, got health in their body, their life is okay, but they want more financial resources to have more choice. The people that tend to work with me on a closer basis have got the financial thing locked down, but the rest of it doesn't make sense. And they've explored the idea of personal growth and personal development, and maybe an exploration of consciousness being the path to actually getting a hold of the other stuff. But there's a fear there. Am I going to end up selling everything and ending up in an ashram in India? Like I've got a mortgage on a multi-million-dollar house, a multi-million-euro house, and I've got kids that go to private school. I can't fall off and start selling my business services for fairy cakes right now. I need to get money. And so what I actually show people how to do is to be in the middle, where you can have everything, spending less time and energy, and actually probably making more money, but doing it in a way that allows you to access the beauty of this wonderful, yummy stuff that we're talking about. And so it allows people that maybe aren't traditionally into this kind of thing to access it in a way that doesn't have them in that fearful state about not being able to enjoy the good things in life, have more energy, more time, more resources, but also more joy, more purpose, more meaning, and more yumminess also.
And it's all about the good stuff, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
it should always, life shouldn't be good. It should be absolutely great. And
exactly.
exactly. And, when you're looking at all the stuff that you might do in the ashram in India, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There is a science behind it. And
yeah.
showing people that puts their mind
Hmm.
at ease that, oh, actually, maybe I don't have to start wearing harem pants and shave my
You
head
don't?
and wear orange. Do you know what I mean?
Well, can
Well,
I wear
I've
red
actually
with
got
the
some on at the moment,
elephants?
so I mean, you can if
can,
you
I,
want.
can I wear red with the elephants on them?
They've got to have elephants on them. They're the
They've got to have
best, aren't they?
elephants. Yeah, got to.
But yeah, people don't want to do that. They want the
Hmm.
science side, and then they realize that it's all connected.
It's all connected. It's
Yeah.
all connected. I mean, even when you look at what I mean, I'm fortunate in that my foray into the mysticism was very much through a scientific lens,
Mm.
and so when I started to go into mysticism, esoterics, and mystical teachings, it was very much looking at them as a form of science
Hmm.
and looking at it through that lens. And so when I was being taught about the difference between physical and non-physical, I was looking at matter and antimatter
Yeah.
and how everything physical has a non-physical component. And I looked at it from the quarks, zeals, and biops versus we're going to talk about. So I didn't go into consciousness that way. I came to it through that lens. And so that
Yeah.
foundation very much informs how I approach it now when I'm working with people. And so when you go through it that way, you get the opportunity to see that, hang on a minute, everything here does actually have a structure and framework
Hmm.
to it. When
Yeah.
we look at what science is doing, science is moving, put the edge of science now is exploring these mystical things that we're talking about, the
Yeah.
gnostic sciences. When you look even at the field of quantum physics, yes, a lot of it's oversimplified, but quantum entanglement shows why group meditation works, right?
Yeah.
When we look at the whole concept of waves and particles and how those things are collapsing and how there's no real thing of time, now we see how manifestation can happen instantly because it was all available in here now for us. But it's
Mm.
about understanding the relationship between these theoretical things and how we show up as humans every day and how we can access that rather than it just being this idea in our mind. It could be something that we experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I actually noticed when I was stalking you, but like as we said, not really stalking you.
Not really.
You talked about something called micro shifting. What's
Yes.
that? What is that?
Okay, I'll give you the definition and I'll give you
Go on then.
the playbook, right? So the definition is a consistent series of baby steps made in the direction of a consciously chosen outcome. A consistent series of baby steps made in the direction of a consciously chosen outcome.
Now that makes
It's
sense.
it's a Danism that basically says rather than trying to eat the whole elephant, we set the goal of eating the elephant and then consistently take nibbles at the elephant to the limit of our ability to eat the elephant. So
Mhm.
often people go to bite the whole thing off. They say, "Oh, well, I'm spiritual, so I should be doing it all by myself, and I should be doing these big leaps, or I'm going to take massive action." And there's another Danism that I've got: push your edge and not your buttons. Keep pushing the edge, so
Yeah.
keep expanding and doing as much as you can and
Hmm.
moving the needle a little bit, but not so much that you burn out, not so much that you end up frying your circuits, which is what a lot of
Mm.
people do. So micro shifting, what I found is that it creates a compound effect, and that compound effect actually leads to quantum leaps naturally, without you needing to burn out or
Mm.
go into fight or flight needing. You
Yeah.
can literally push yourself a little bit, The consistency is key. Um, Asking yourself, what can I do now without resistance? And then pushing the edge a little bit, that's key. And also
Mm.
having a very clear final outcome, those are key. But micro shifting has been one of the most powerful and transformative tools that the people that get to work with us have deployed and got great results with.
It makes perfect sense. Consistent action towards something
Mm,
every day is going to come out with a different outcome rather than not
yeah,
doing it. I,
exactly.
there was I can't remember what the saying is. It's something to do with eating the camel, but not finishing it on the tail or something like that. You're getting stuck in, yeah. So you're going for it. You're going for it, and there's just the tail left. You're like, oh my god, this isn't working, and you just stop eating, like you're saying with the elephant. But yeah, just going that little bit further, and you're going to get that tail so much easier to finish than the rest of it. Not that we're talking about eating live animals or anything like that right now.
Don't do that. or eating animals at all if you're vegan. Right? But the key is, I mean, one of the things I really preach about is not taking the cookie cutter approach. Like I literally preach about that. And when instead of taking a cookie cutter approach, we actually ask, okay, who am I? And in this knowing of myself, what is my limit? In this knowing of myself, where do I need support? In this knowing of myself, where do I need to pause? Not stop, but pause.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they've gone to go and get a coach. They don't know themselves enough to be coached properly, right? A lot of people not getting support because they think they can do it by themselves. And actually, you can't do it by themselves.
Yeah.
And having this self-knowing, having that clear vision, and then taking those baby steps according to who you are and where you are, that's where the magic happens, I found.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to know yourself to start with, but sometimes that's the most difficult part because we don't always want to see ourselves because we're frightened of what we're going to find.
Yeah.
It's difficult to look at yourself and be like, oh, okay, and admit that you can't do everything, or because we don't like to ask for help, do we? We like to especially if we're British, we have to keep doing it all ourselves.
Stiff up.
Exactly.
And the thing is as well is like one of the aspects of toxic positivity I found is someone saying, I can't go and be coached. I'm a coach, right? I can't go and get help with my manifesting. I'm a manifesting leader. It's stupid. The most potent leaders, the most potent people who are able to support others are the ones that are fully supported themselves. I spend 6 figures a year on my personal development. I did over $300,000 on my personal development, coaching, mentoring, masterminding last year alone, right? And that's what I know keeps me at the top of my game.
Definitely.
Being in the right rooms with the right people, getting the right mentors, getting the right coaches, being able to access the right counsel for who you are and what you want to do. It's invaluable, but so often we lose sight of that, and we just don't get to access that yumminess.
I always work with a coach. I wouldn't be without one. Like you say, you can't, even if it's something in the similar field to me, how I'm accessing it with somebody else and what the other person's doing for me, that I have my own blocks that you can't necessarily get through yourself.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you hire a coach? If it's good enough for Oprah, it's good enough for me.
I mean, the funny thing is that the coaches that I hire to coach my clients, I get coached by sometimes also, right? it's like, but I just think it's ridiculous to try and do it by yourself. It's ridiculous to think that you're beyond needing assistance. We all need help. It's like nobody reaches the end of the journey until they've ended the journey physically and popped their clogs. Like
there's never an end, end destination.
No, you're not gonna. I've arrived. It's just not.
No.
I mean, if the stories are true, even Jesus at the end of it was like, "Oh, I know I signed up for this, but anyway, we could do. we could just saying, if
I come back,
if we can't, but and if a level of mystic at that operative level still calls for support, then what of us?
Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Some people who aren't interested in, because they think they are already a coach, so they shouldn't have to have one. Is just the expansion that they could experience is crazy. They're never gonna have that level if they don't work with somebody on their own stuff as well. So. So tell us about what's coming up for you, Dan, and what's happening, what's new.
So we're really quadrupling down on our money DNA work that we've been doing, because it's just got such this cross pollination between all these areas that we're talking about: the micro shifting, knowing yourself, understanding the path to abundance flow.
Yeah.
So we've just hired someone to do like a little quiz thingy jig for us, so people can go online and answer some questions.
Everyone loves a
find out what they
quiz.
want to do. Yeah. So we're working on that right now. I'm really excited about that. We've started doing a monthly workshop on that, which is really, really cool. Got my the documentary that I'm working on at the moment. We finally got it. The pre-production is finally registered on IMDb, so it's official. I'm officially a film producer now.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah. And speaking of Oprah, I just got quoted by Oprah the other day, which is a funny story. Because
wow.
Yeah. So basically, my publicist hits me up. She says, "Oh, I've got an interview for Oprah Daily Magazine. They're doing an article this week. They're looking for experts to answer questions about X, Y, and Z. We put you forward." They said, "Yeah, they'll interview and we'll see what happens." So I do the interview.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Like, I really love this." And she goes, "Oh, I think Oprah would like this too." I thought she was blowing smoke up my butt. But it went well. We're expecting the thing to come out on Thursday. Crickets. For like a month, we're following them up, like emailing, like, "Hey, what happened?
Yeah.
Can we get another shot or whatever?" And just crickets. They didn't. And it turned out that I didn't end up in that article because Oprah actually took that and actually used it for her official thingy thing that she does every week, and she used it and she quoted, like, extensively quoted my work on it. So that was really, really awesome.
That is awesome. Well done.
So thank you. So some really cool stuff on the horizon, but just making this move into film-based storytelling and sharing my work through film. That's where I'm really, really going right now, and I'm excited about it. Some really cool stuff on the horizon.
Awesome. So where are we going to see your documentary? And
it's going to be on Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
Yes, we're making it free. We're not charging for it. We're going to make it free. We've had some sponsors. We the way that we're funding all our film projects is people can sponsor them for like a producer credit or whatever.
Yeah.
So we can make it free for people. So that's what I'm really, really passionate about. So all being well, sort of like by June-ish, we should have that up on Amazon Prime, and then on to the next one, which I'm really excited about.
So what, do you have a title for it that we can look out for it?
It's called Manifestnation.
That sounds like I would watch it anyway. Even though you hadn't, if I came across it, I'd be like, "Oh my God, that is definitely mine." How many times I go on the TV, I'm like, I just want something that I can watch that speaks to me, that gives, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm just like, "Oh my God," and we need more stuff out there.
No, Manifestnation is what the documentary is called. And we're taking this first one is about 40 minutes. We're looking at clipping this one at 40 minutes. But
yeah.
We're taking the scientific approach to explore what's happening inside of us when we're manifesting, so that we can actually start to reverse engineer that and do it on a more consistent basis.
Ooh. Yeah. That sounds really good. I will definitely be watching that and reviewing it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Anything else in the pipeline besides documentaries and your IMDb famous status?
Yes, IMDb'd up. I'm in the IMDb. No, that's the main thing at the moment. Really moving into film. I said the quiz will be out soon. We're looking forward to getting that done. I think April that should be out and about. I'm going to Necker Island in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to go meet Richard Branson and hang out with some other cool entrepreneurs. Yeah, I'm really excited about that as well.
That sounds good. Yeah.
That's the main things going on for me right now.
So if my audience want to get in touch or learn more about your work, how can they find you, Dan?
I think what would be really cool, and we did this recently, and I think this would be awesome, is we'll create a resource page for them that maybe it's got a couple of bits on there.
Okay.
We can do dreamwithdan.com / what's a cool / what do you think will be good / for your listeners?
Well, it could be happy, inspired, motivated.
Happy. Let's do happy.
Happy. Okay. Happy.
Yeah. / happy. So they'll go to dreamwithdan.com / happy.
Okay.
I'll pop some resources on there for them so that they continue to maybe look at deploying some of the stuff we're talking about, a bit more about me and what I do.
Perfect.
And maybe a way for them to connect with me too. So they'll go to dreamwithdan.com / happy. I'll make sure I put my video, How to Be a Harmonious Money Magnet, which is it's a little video that goes through my approach to abundance. And we helped a lot of people make a lot of money. Some of our guys have been a millionaire within a year from zero. And so we'll teach them some of the core principles around that in the video, and a couple other pieces for them there too.
Excellent. Well, that is so kind. Thank you for
My pleasure.
giving my listeners something special. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. And I can't wait to see your documentary and everything else you've got going on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.